All right, what's up, everybody? This is EJ back with another podcast episode. Girl, I know it's been a long time since we have been here in this room talking on a microphone. I'm so silly. But yeah, it's been a long time that I've took from doing a podcast. Oh my gosh, I kind of forgot how to talk for a second. But yeah, it's been a long time. It's just been, I've been doing my thing, just a lot of different things, just figuring out what it is that I, want to do, moving forward. And, in doing that, you just kind of, things that you love to do, you kind of just stop doing it for a little bit. And I just had to I took a lot of time to just try to figure out what it is that you want to do that really makes you feel good. It makes you happy, and that's, I don't really have a topic for this episode, but that's kind of one of the topics. This episode is just like a rambling. I do want to say, like, excuse me, sorry. Oh, okay. I had to burp. So, one thing to say before moving forward, this episode is really kind of just for me. But I figure if it sounds good enough, then I'll upload it to the internet for other people to listen to. But yeah, so I'm talking as if other people are going to be listening to this, in case I upload it. But I probably will, because there's things I want to talk about, and I feel like it can help somebody who needs to hear someone else talk about it. So I just figured, hey, let's upload this, because there's somebody who will want to listen to this whole thing and listen to me talk. Somebody wants to do that, so why not upload it? So yeah, one of the topics I want to talk about was like doing the things that you genuinely love. And that was something I had to take a lot of time to figure out. I was taking a long time to understand what is it that you really want to do that makes your heart like happy, that makes it filled with joy, and a podcast that I love to listen to is the Joe Rogan Podcast. And he had a guest on the show who, I forgot his name, but they were discussing like doing things that make you happy, like, and stuff like that, and like, with career and things like that. And one of the things that he discussed was how there's two different motives to a person doing an activity, whether that activity is playing football or putting on a dress or whatever. Like there's two different motives. And that can be either an internal type of motive or an external type of motive. So internal meaning like you're doing it because it makes you feel good, and you're doing it just for you. Like you're doing it because you're working on this drawing because it makes you feel good. And then the external example would be you're working on this drawing because that you're going to get paid for it, or you're going to make money, or not make money, but you're going to possibly get famous off of it and stuff like that. And that was something that I was struggling with a lot, was trying to figure out why am I doing what it is that I'm doing. And I guess we can go to my main career, like what I love to do, which is being an artist. I love to paint and draw and all of that. And my career as an artist began to grow to a level where now people, contact me, and they want to pay me money for me to do artwork for them. And that's beautiful, and I'm so blessed because I'm getting paid to do what I love to do. So it's like, hey, I'm getting paid just to have fun. So that's a blessing. But sometimes you get some clients where it's not really fun because they have a weird request, and you're just doing it just to get paid for it. But it's like, that's when the whole thing comes in, when it's like you're doing something a lot just because of the external reason. You're not doing it for an internal reason. You're not doing it because it genuinely makes you happy. You begin doing it because it's like, oh, I just gotta make money for it, or I gotta do it because of the exposure, or and that was something I struggled with a lot, because I kept working on artwork and posting it to my Instagram, in the beginning I really wanted, I wanted to blow up. I wanted to like get big and get a lot of followers and likes, and that was not a healthy thing. It wasn't healthy at all. It was very destructive, and it took out the meaning of what it is that I love to do. Since a kid, I always told people, like, when I grow up, I'm going to be an artist, and people will laugh and be like, are you serious? That's your career choice? But I always knew, I'm like, that is what I'm going to be. Like, I knew that since a kid, and I knew that I'm going to do an amazing job at it since a kid, and till this day, I'm still doing a phenomenal job being an artist. I'm an amazing artist. I don't have the most followers on Instagram, but it's like I've learned finally after so long that stuff doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. And it's like I had to understand that and realize that, and it finally helped me get to a point in my life to where I was able to understand that does not matter. What truly matters is how you feel and what you truly feel. And people resonate with that. People can acknowledge when a person is doing something because they're putting their heart into it, and it's part of them, and people can acknowledge when someone's doing something just because they want to make money off of it, or they're hoping to get famous. Like, people can pick up on that type of stuff, and that's something that it's like, and that's not like my main thing. I don't care. And that's another thing, is like, you have to just learn to not care what someone else thinks. Like, just do something for you. Like, point blank period. Just do it for you, whatever it may be, whether it's coloring your hair, putting on crazy makeup, whatever. It's like, it has to just be for you. And that's something that I recently I've been doing. Like, recently I've been having more fun doing different drag looks. Like, now I've been getting more into drag, and drag is something that I do it for fun. I do it very randomly, but I do it kind of like very rare, just for the reason I don't want people like to think that I'm like a full-time drag queen. Not that I have anything against being a full-time drag queen. I love the drag career choice. It's like I'm more than that, so I don't want people to think that that's all I am, because I'm way more than that. I'm an artist. I can do drag, I can dance, I can sing, I can do it in multiple things. So it's like I don't want people to think that I'm just that thing, so that's why I do it so rarely. But it's super fun to me, and that's something I've been I've been making myself do it. Like, stop being afraid to do those things, and it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it so much, and I'm it's sweet that I posted it like on my Instagram, and a lot of people respond well to it, and I'm like, that's nice. But it's something I finally got to the place in my life where I don't care how people react, whether they love it or they hate it. It doesn't matter, because what really matters is how you feel about it. And I hope that like that truly can help somebody who's listening to this to know that no matter what it is you're doing in your life, you have to know that it's how it affects you. You can't think about, are people gonna love this? Are my parents gonna love this? And I mean, you want to make sure whatever you're doing is not gonna hurt you or harm you, or nothing like that. But it's like, as long as it's fun and it's productive and it's healthy, it's like, that's what truly matters. It's not about all the other stuff. But yeah, that's like that topic that I was thinking about for a while, and I finally got to that place to where it's just, I love what I do. Like, I love what I do, and I don't really care about the external reasons anymore. I mean, obviously a person should get paid for what they do, and we live in a world where you have to make money to eat and pay bills and stuff like that. So might as well do that. It's like, would you rather spend your time working at a job that you hate and you're miserable at, making money to take care of yourself, but it's like, to get the money you have to do something that you don't like? It's like, that's not fulfilling, and that's not how a person should live. A person should make their currency and their money doing what it is that makes them feel good on the inside, because in doing that, you also help other people feel good. And so it's like, I remember I saw somebody like attacking artists. They're like, oh, I hate when artists be promoting, asking people for who wants them to do their portrait, or da-da-da, when artists want money so badly. And I'm like, so you're upset because somebody just wants to get paid to do what they love to do, instead of clocking into a job that they hate? Like, that's so stupid. Like, I think that's such a selfish and disrespectful thing to tell somebody. It's the same thing with someone who does hair. It's like, you'd rather them just do your hair for free than them putting up a promotion for hairstyling. Like, it's like, people, it's just like, and another thing with art, it's like, art is just a big thing in this world, and it's like, I wish that people would really, really, really take more artists seriously, because it really is a very important thing. And it's like art inspires so many things. Like there's movies and music and so many things that people see, and it's like you don't understand how so much of that is inspired by art, or how much of that incorporates art into it. So many different things. So it's like I just hope in the future, and I feel like people will in the future, just take artists more seriously, understand that these are people who, you know, they'll be making cartoons for your children to watch, you know, one day. So it's like, why not support them and show a lot of love to them, and help them out, you know. But yeah, that's just something that was on my mind and my heart to discuss that, because I really just wanted to understand that for myself and have that reality check. I needed to check myself, definitely needed to check myself, because I had to realize, like, I had to ask myself, what are you doing this for? Like, you love to do this, but why? Like, you know, like, or like, what is the big motive? And part of that big motive was just like, oh, I want to get like a bunch of followers and like have a lot of people know me. But it's like, that's not the important part. It truly isn't the important part. It isn't. And that's like a cool side. That's like a cool benefit, I guess you could say, but it's not really important. What's really important is like the people who you're making a difference in their life and how you're making an impact in people's lives with what it is that you do. That is what's really important. It's not about the numbers and the scale. The scale is made up. The scale is just bullshit. It really is. And a lot of people who have high numbers on the scale, a good bit of them are effed up in the head. And that's just the truth. And it doesn't mean that they can't come back from it. They can come back from it, and they will be okay. I feel like I know that they'll be okay. But it's like that scale is dumb. It's truly dumb. It's what you really care about and what you're putting into it. That is the magic of it and what truly matters. And it's like I've gotten to a place where now I can take so much more time between my work. I don't rush to put out artwork. I know that whenever I release it is the perfect time to work on it or release it whenever. I know that it's the perfect time. There is no rushing. There is no, you're taking forever. You're taking too long. I remember, and that's another thing. I was watching an episode of the Joe Rogan Podcast, and they were discussing the whole myth, that whole saying when people go, oh, you need to strike while the iron's hot. Strike while the iron's hot. And I think that was Robert Downey Jr. And he was like, that's such a myth. He's like, that's such a dumb thing. And he's like, it's such a toxic thing to just tell people, like, making someone feel like they have to just rush. And it gives people the sense that they have to move so fast. And so it makes them feel like if they don't move fast enough, they're going to lose it. They're going to lose that chance. But it's like, you will not lose the chance. Now, there are some opportunities where when it pops up, you do need to take it. Yes. But the initial thing, like, you don't have to move so quickly. And another thing is, like, I saw this beautiful picture. It said, your worth is not measured by your productivity. And that's such a true statement. It's like, I've seen people who, they produce so much content, but the content is not really good, you know. And mind you, I don't like to criticize a person's work. I really don't. But sometimes you just do. Like, you have to just call it spades and acknowledge it from time to time. But I've seen people who produce so much content. I mean, they'll give you like stuff every single day, but it's not really the best thing. And then you have other people who the content they produce is probably like once a month or once a week or once every 2 weeks or something. And that content is just rich and good and delicious. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like, your worth is not measured by your productivity. So it's like, don't feel like you have to rush things out. Take your time, relax, breathe. Nothing's going to escape you, nothing's going to run away from you. Just relax and breathe. And that's something I had to learn for myself. Is like, and I'm still learning it because I'm not perfect. I'm learning more to breathe, relax, stop rushing, stop feeling like, you have to move like the Flash. And, I know that it's like everything is happening in divine timing. And that's something that I've learned. I truly learned. So yeah, that's with that topic. Another one I wanted to talk on was like a more deeper one, and this one isn't really career wise. This one's more personal. And yeah, this one is a deeper topic for me, but I wanted to discuss it because it's really important to me, and I know that I'm finally in a better place in my life where I can look back on this and learn from it. So for a long time, I had this long crush on this guy who, me and him had this like type of bond where it just felt very symbiotic. Like we felt very like, and it still feels like it. Like when we talk on the phone, it's just the moment we get on the phone, it's just like, it's this connection that just feels like, oh my God, this is my twin. Like we mix so well together. And it's like for the longest time, I just kept feeling like I had to be with, like, he was the only guy, the only person for me, like my only option. And it's like I had to understand that no, he wasn't, you know. And I wanted to talk about this topic too, because it's like, I know that there are many people out there who are going through this, where it's like they meet somebody and they just feel like, oh my God, this person is the one for me. Like, I'm not gonna find no one better. Oh, they're the one for me. Like, I found my one. And that is adorable. It's adorable. It's sweet. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with feeling like that. You know, we're human beings. So it's like when we find that person and we just feel that connection, it's just like, oh my God, I found the one for me. You just feel so good. Like you feel like this good, warm. It's like this warm feeling, and you just feel like, girl. Sorry, girl, my dog. And I just didn't want to admit to myself that he just probably wasn't ready for me, or that he wasn't worthy to be with me, you know. And that was like the hardest thing for me to acknowledge, was that this guy was not worthy, you know, he wasn't worthy to be with me. He wasn't worthy of what I can give him, because I had to remember and learn that I am a divine and amazing individual, that I deserve so much. And it's like, I should not have to settle. And essentially the issue with this guy, it was like, I told him I had feelings for him, and then he basically friend zoned me. But it was a weird friend zone, because it kind of turned into a situationship in a way where it's like he's showing that he has feelings for me, but not really saying it, or not trying to admit it, and then still messing around with somebody else. And then he got back with his ex-boyfriend, and that became a whole thing. And I was just like, okay. And it screwed me up. And it's like, I knew that he knew that it was kind of screwing me up a little bit, and maybe he didn't. And that's the other thing, I had to learn to just get over myself. You know, many times I got feeling like, oh, he's doing this to get at me, or you feel like you be thinking in your head like, oh, this guy's trying to come at me, but sometimes they aren't. Sometimes they're not even thinking about you, you know. And that's something I had to understand, is like, this guy probably he's not even thinking about me like that. He's not worried about me. He's not trying to make me jealous, because he doesn't care. Like, he probably just doesn't even care, you know. And it's just, you are so invested in him, and you played yourself. Like, I was playing myself in that moment, really thinking I was so into this, like, oh my God, like, he likes me, but he just isn't ready. And it's like, if that was the case, it's like, even then, I'm worth more than that. Like, I shouldn't have to sit here waiting for someone to finally come around and be like, okay, I like you now. It's like, no, nigga, you should have been like me, because I'm phenomenal. It's like, what reason, what is it? And that's another thing. It's like, that's when you have to really stop, is when they make you question your worth. Like, when they make you question who you are, that's when you gotta just really stop it. Because it's like, they should not do that to you. Like, no guy, no girl, no human should make you feel like you have to stop and question, well, am I really amazing? Like, am I a good person? Am I a cool person? Like, because you ask yourself that, because it's like, it's this one person that you really like, and it's like, wow, the one person who I really like, they don't want me. The person who I really want to be with, they don't want me. So what is it about me? Like, am I a mess? Am I mentally a mess? Like, am I a screw up? Am I effed up in the head? Like, what is it about me? Why do they want me? And it starts to breed all these insecurities that stir up inside of you, and it's so unhealthy, and it's so just self-sabotaging, and it's something I just had to stop doing to myself. Like, I had to stop doing it to myself. I had to stop being in that mental state of like, oh, something's wrong with me, or this guy doesn't like me, or whatever the case may be. I had to stop doing that to myself, because it was like, before you met this guy, and that was the thing too, it was like, before I met him, I was fine. I loved myself. I was completely good. And then it's like, I met him, felt a connection, felt a vibe with him, told him how I felt. Then he rejected me, and then I'm just like, and you just fall into this dark rabbit hole pit. But then it's like, at the bottom of the pit, I had to realize, no, like, there still is a lot of light inside of me. And just because I made that big mistake of feeling like this was the one, and it turns out they weren't the one, it's okay. Let's get up, dust myself off, and let's crawl out of this pit, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and we'll be fine. And that's what I'm doing now. It's like, I finally crawled out of the pit, and I'm on the surface, and it's like, I'm still kind of mucky and got dirt and stuff all over me, but it's okay. Like, I'm gonna just keep walking and shower myself off and keep moving, and it's something that it's a bittersweet type of pain, because it feels good that you finally can just let it go. But it also hurts because it's like, you wanted it so badly with this person, and you knew that it's like things could work between you guys, but they really didn't want you. And a lot of times it's like, it doesn't when a person doesn't want you, it doesn't speak on you, it just speaks on them. Many times, a lot of times it does, unless you are a crazy person or something is wrong with you. But but no, a good bit of times it's like, it speaks on them. It's like, they just don't want you. But like, I saw this one article, it was saying, like, just because one person doesn't want you, it doesn't mean that everybody doesn't want you. Like, it doesn't speak to your value. It's just how this one person perceives you, or how this person feels about you. And even then, they're not trying to say that you're not worthy or you're a mess. They're just saying you're not for them. And yes, that hurts. It sucks. I know it's not a fun feeling. It sucks to have somebody tell you that you aren't what they're looking for. That hurts. It hurts like heck. I did it to another guy. I had a guy who, he was really into me, and he was so into me and so in love with me that he paid for a plane ticket for me to come see him. And I was visiting him, and during the trip that I was visiting with him, the trip got like super awkward because I just didn't feel the chemistry between us. And I told him during the trip that I just felt we'll be better as best friends. And like, I remember it was so painful for me, like, to tell him that. And that's how also, like, how, like, okay, so like with that trip, when I told him that, like, before I even told that guy that I didn't have feelings for him, it was because I realized that I really had feelings for this guy, the guy who I'm just now getting over. Like, the guy who I'm just now getting over, who he's back with his ex. Like, I was in the bathroom when I was visiting the other guy's house, and I was just in the bathroom just crying my eyes out. I was just crying my eyes out, because I'm like, oh my God, this guy flew me out to his house, and I'm in his bathroom in his house, his really nice, beautiful house, and I don't want to be with him. I want to be with this other guy, I don't even know if he wants me or not. Because that was before I even told that guy my feelings, that I was into him. And then, and then he friend zoned me. But before I even told that guy how I felt about him, I was in the bathroom of this other guy's house just crying my eyes out, because I really wanted to be with him. I wanted to be with this guy. And I left the bathroom, and I told him how I felt. I said, I feel like we'll be better off as just really good friends. And the look in his face, and just, he went in his room and he just started crying, and I just felt so bad. And I feel like this evil character, like in a movie, like this evil, like the bad guy in the movie. And it was just horrible. But I had to tell him how I felt, because I didn't want to fake the feelings and then go into a long relationship and then, and then hurt him, and, or cheat on him or something, like, I was like, I need to tell him how I feel now. I don't want to, like, we start dating and then, I'm cheating on him or something, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was just horrible. And I just felt so bad. I'm like, I cut things off with this guy. I tell this other guy I have feelings for him, and then he friend zones me, and it's like, what the fuck, you know? Like, you just feel like, what the freak am I doing? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, now I'm alone. But being alone isn't a bad thing, you know, and I'm enjoying it. I'm truly enjoying it because I'm healing, I'm taking care of myself, and I'm appreciating so many things, you know. And it's like, yeah, it would have been nice to have that. It would have been nice to tell this guy I have feelings for him, and he was just like, oh my god, yes, I have feelings for you too. Let's do it. Let's explore our feelings for each other. Yay! And it's just like this, yay, we're bonding. But that wasn't the reality. The reality was I told him, and he wasn't ready. He wanted to get back with his ex-boyfriend and just do that and not really be clear with me, you know. And I had to realize my worth, which is I'm worth way more than that, and I'm not worthy to. I'm not worth. My worth isn't just to sit here and wait for someone to finally come pick me up. Like, no, no, you can't do that to me, and you won't do that to me. So I just hope that someone else who's listening to this can know that you don't have to wait for a guy to finally see your worth. You don't have to do that, and you shouldn't have to do that. So just know your worth. Know that you need to just dust it off and get up and just enjoy yourself. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard sometimes because you're trying to let go of this person who you felt like it could work so much with them. And I know that it's tough. There's going to be nights when you're crying. There's going to be nights where it feels like your heart is twisting up like a freaking game of Twister. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on tonight? But it's but you're going to be okay. You know, it's like you're going to get through it. And it's nights where there's going to be those nights where it feels like it's not going to happen. But just know in that moment, you're going to get through it. And let yourself feel the emotions. Let yourself grieve the loss of this connection you thought you had with this person. Grieve it. Grieve the loss. And once you finally grieved it, move on, you know? And if you and that person decide to just be friends, or they message you and just to be your friend, and that's okay, and you don't mind being their friend because you don't care anymore to date them, then you can do that. But that's only if it's for your own good. Don't be friends with somebody with the thought in the back of your mind, oh, I hope we can date. No, you know, if you and that person become friends again or something, it should strictly be you just want to be their friend. And if they do fully come around, they message you or they call you and they're like, hey, I want to take you on a date and let's talk, like, let's really connect. And if you want to give that a chance, you can. I feel like if a person sometimes a person, you have to really leave them and show them that you're worth way more than that for them to fully get it. And then they can understand, hey, like, I did this person truly dirty, and they are an amazing person for me to be with, so let me just try. And you should make them want to chase you and give you that, you know, ask you to give them another chance. And that's when you can make that decision. And sometimes, like this one girl said, she was like, sometimes it's better for you not to give them another chance. Like, just be done with it, you know. But that's all up to you. And that's something I can't fully help you with, you know. It's like, that's something that you have to make that decision for yourself. You know, just listen to your spirit. And the funny thing about that, this one girl, she said, I love what she said about like relationships and love and all that. She was like, the best thing she found out was that sometimes you can't just listen to everybody's advice. Sometimes you just have to keep going back to a guy enough times for him to really hurt you enough to the point that you hate him. And I thought that was like so funny. And it's like, dang, I'm like, I don't want to do that, because it's like, dang, I don't want to hurt my heart. But it's like that actually would work. It's like you go back to this guy and mess with him so many times to the point that he hurts you so much to the point that you end up hating him. Like, you end up wanting him to burn in the pits of hell. So it's like, sometimes she was like, sometimes that is what you have to do. Sometimes you have to keep going back to a guy and keep fooling with him just for him to piss you off so much to the point that you hate him. You want him to die, which you shouldn't want that. I don't want to encourage that. Don't have that mentality. But I'm saying, essentially, that's like what your mindset would be like. Oh my God, I cannot stand him. So it's like, that's kind of what it should lead to, if that's what you want to do. But you shouldn't have to do that. That should be like a last resort, like the last resort. The main resort should be done with it, move on, dust yourself off, and take care of yourself. But the last resort is you just keep falling back into his arms, and you're just like, enough times that you're just like, okay, he really is not a good guy for me. But that's something, I mean, I wouldn't encourage people to do that. I feel like definitely just know your worth, know that you're worth more than to sit here and wait for someone to finally get it and understand that you're amazing. You are amazing. You don't have to sit here and wait for someone to tell you that or let you know that. You shouldn't have to. And that guy knows that he's wrong. It's like, they know that they're wrong for that. But also sometimes you have to get over yourself, and that's something I had to understand. I'm like, maybe this guy truly just really doesn't like me like that, and I had to understand I just got to be done with it, and so I hope that this helps people who listen to it. This was just something I wanted to get off my chest and talk about these things. They helped me out a lot, and I mean, this helped me out a lot. Sorry, you guys, I'm a little tired. So I hope that this podcast helps somebody who knows. But it's definitely helped me. It's helped me a lot. And I'm gonna try to do more in the future. But I'm learning to just do the things that make me feel good. Going back to the first topic, I'm just doing the things that make me feel good and just help me feel good on the inside. Things that just make my heart, jump with joy and glee, and and that's what truly matters. So, all right, I love you guys so much. For anyone who's listened to this whole podcast, I love you. Thank you for that. And anybody who just listen to it, period, thank you, because you didn't have to listen to my voice for over 30 minutes. So yeah, all right, I love you so much. Thank you, and